Bruhachatad divyamachintya rupam sukshmachatat sukshmataram vibhati durat sudure tadihantike cha pashyat svihaiva nihitam guhayam. Bruhachatad divyamachintya rupam sukshmachatat sukshmataram vibhati durat sudure tadihantike cha pashyat svihaiva nihitam guhayam. Bruhat, it is vast. Divyam, effulgent. Achintya rupam, it's unthinkable, it's inconceivable. Sukshmat sukshmataram, subtler than the subtle. Durat sudure, it is further than the distant. Vibhati, it shines. Tat vibhati, that shines. Tat iha antike, that is here right within. Verily seen, seated in the cavity of the heart. Nihitam guhayam, seated in the cavity of the heart. Guhayam, guha, in the cavity of the heart. Guha. It is deep in the heart, but it is shining. Just to ensure that it's not gloomy. The self is not dark and gloomy. It is very much there, shining. So when he says it is very far, that's right here. When you use the word far and near, it can have two interpretations. Far and near means it's everywhere, all pervading. There's nowhere it's not, it's everywhere. Far, the self is far for the extroverted people. For the Rajasic and Tamasic people, the self is very far. Very near for the Sattvic people. If you are an introverted person, the self is very near. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa describes how long does it take to realize the self. You remember the example he gives? If I'm not wrong, it's Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Vasantam, any idea? He says, how long does it take for you to realize the self? Okay, நீங்க கொடுங்க example. Forget Ramakrishna.
It is too all to describe. Instant.
Instantaneously, yeah. The example they give in the Shastras, and as I said, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, the great Ramakrishna gives, he says, how long does it take for a needle to penetrate a rose petal? That long it will take for you to realize the self. It's instantaneous. The moment you put a sharp needle and that soft rose petal, it just penetrates. But for When you say that it is only poetic description, is it really true? It's very far from me. Why is it far from me? Because I am a Rajasic and Tamasic fellow. But if you are ready, if you are mature, if you are evolved as a Sattvic person, it is as instantaneous, as fast as it seems.
It's as close as when the camels.
Neck of the camel, right? That's what Muhammad said, no? What you are seeking is closer than the neck of your camel. And he said that to those who are going on the camel's back to Mecca. Very near, correct. So, Tadhure, Tadvantike. Elsewhere in the Shastras, Upanishads, they say it's far, it is near. Yeah, how long does it take for a salt doll also to dissolve in water instantaneous? Again, that also is an example, if I'm not wrong, by Ramakrishna, isn't it? That's also another famous example given by the great Ramakrishna, Paramahamsa. So it is far, it is near. So where you are, to that extent, it appeals to you. It's either very far a journey or very near a journey, where you are placed. That is here within. Here, Antike. You may have something in your pocket and you are searching everywhere. How many times has it happened to us? You have kept that key in your pocket and you're desperately searching all over. Where have I kept it? Where have I kept it? Like that, Atman is right within us and we are searching for God. Where? Mount Kailash. I want to go to see Mount Kailash, the abode of Lord Shiva. Antikepa, Ingadha is right here within you, and you want to go all the way. Now, India also is putting a road. You don't have to go through Tibet. Yesterday, I heard in the news somewhere. So India now is putting a highway or a passage that you can, from Indian territory itself, you can directly go to Kailash. Thank you, sir. I've been wanting to go again to Mount Kailash. For those who are considering Iha Antike, that Mount Kailash, bliss of realization, bliss of the self, or bliss of Lord Shiva is right here. You don't have to go. It is far for those who are immature. It is very near for those who are very mature. Why do you have to go all the way there to see God? Is there God any less here? I want that. Can you please give Raghu? Can you arrange for me?
Yes, Guruji. I can arrange because my uncle is a local MLA in my constituency. Okay. I can go and get 10-15 letters one day.
Oh, I did not know that. So 10 people will be sending recommendations to you now. Okay.
But all these 10 people will not find anything, no God in that place, but they can find it in their local temples, like wherever they live. Local Sivalayam is there, Ramalayam is there, very old temples also there, same village.
Sir, but we want to see international Balaji. We don't want to see local Balaji. Then you will say domestic Balaji also is there. In the house also you have the same Balaji, domestic Balaji. We are all tired of domestic. We want to see international.
For sightseeing, it is okay, Guruji, but I don't know. But some places it is good to see, but I understand whatever is, like, it has become some other social issues more than the God itself.
See, the less evolved, how do we understand the philosophy? Not to ridicule it, but the less evolved need a greater manifestation to appreciate divinity. That's the concept here. The less evolved you are, you need a greater manifestation to attune to God. The more evolved you are, you need lesser manifestation to attune to God. So it is inversely proportional. For example, a person who is highly evolved, he can look at perhaps any aspect of nature. It's so divinely attuning, instantly attuned to God by looking at nature. It could be mere sunset. It could be early morning. You see that beautiful mist. You can go into raptures. You can look at, it can be an insignificant bug or an insect, and you can see it a moth or a butterfly, or you can see it a bird. The beauty of its color, the beauty of who is created. You go into raptures. You are lost for words trying to admire the beauty of the creator. So you don't need any spectacular, majestic expression to say, oh my God. But the same may not be appreciated by everybody. They may not have the eyes to appreciate divinity. So they need to go to a grand manifestation. It could be the Niagara Falls, or it could be the a huge mountain. What is that you are showing us? Your petta.
Yeah, that is the calf newborn, two weeks old on my land. There are some newborn calf. I'm enjoying every day in the morning. I'm just showing it to see, like, I enjoy watching them, and I relate to more happiness. I'm actually very happy seeing them early in the morning, like kind of 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. And honestly, I don't feel a need to go somewhere or do something extraordinary in terms of, but it is okay to go anywhere, wherever they like or whatever they do. But as you said very well, and also I'm contemplating on whatever they discussed in the class today. A lot of Indians come here and they settle down very well, more than the Americans. The living standards of Indians in America is much more than the Americans itself. But still, that sacrifice and those things are little bit probably, I can't say lagging, but it's not very well developed or something like that. But I'm happy, at least I'm attending these classes and slowly learning whatever I can, going in the right way.
Right, sir. Appreciate. So the objective, or the point we are making here is the degree of manifestation measures your spiritual evolution. As you said, you can admire nature, you can attune to the self through very little manifestations. So if you need to, what is it that arouses that spiritual feeling in you? You can be sitting in a room all by yourself, sitting at a desk with this knowledge. You can be aroused to the highest feeling, or you have to go to a temple, church, or mosque, or a gurudwara only to feel that spirituality. You can feel, but do you need to feel? As Swami Ramatirtha says, you can't claim yourself to be any more spiritual by going to a temple, church, or mosque only. Means you can feel that same spiritual arousal, the same spiritual feeling without doing it. That means I am that elevated. That doesn't mean you should not do it. You can very much do it, but you don't need to do that to feel spiritual. So just moving on in the explanation, he says, subtler than the subtle. It is too subtle for you to recognize. That's why we miss it. Subtle means something which is very seemingly insignificant. It's like a speck of dust. It is very subtle. Since it is subtler than the subtle, since it is further than the most distant, we perhaps may miss it. Very small. But then he also says it is seated in the cave and effulgent. It is vast, it is subtle. Again, I said, it is vast means it's very big, it's huge, very small, means it's everywhere. Effulgent, self-effulgent. Jyotisham Jyoti is brilliant. So it doesn't need anything else to lighten it up. It illumines itself. It illumines itself, it illumines everything else. The self illumines your perceptions, the self illumines your emotions, the self illumines your thoughts. The self makes you aware of everything. It shines, he says. In fact, talking of the great Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he says, it is the light without any physical properties or qualities. It is a light without any physical qualities or properties. In effect, what that is, that light he is talking about, is nothing but an objectless awareness. Atman, or the self, is said to be an objectless awareness. Objectless consciousness. And also you notice in the typical, in the mantra, you note the typical language of contradiction. They always, all the time say it is opposite. Now, what is the objective of using the language of contradiction? Haresh, any idea? He says it is far, it is near, it is subtle, it is gross. So they use contradictory language. They're not pinpoint, point blank. They don't give the message. Did you think of it?
From my understanding, Guruji, the contradiction is just to keep one thinking back and forth, to keep going back, to come forward, to go forward, to go back, to keep us thinking all the time, to go back and forth, to never stop the thinking process.
The only objective or language of contradiction is to make us think, that's all. Not to come to an answer, but to think. You may have an answer, you may not have an answer, but not to come to a point where you don't exercise the intellect. So by contradicting, they're making us think. That's all. I wish I can give to you all, Hariji. I want to give you all not intellectual shock. I want to give you all physical shock. How can I give you that, Hariji? Since you start, it shall start with you. Physical shock கொடுக்கலாம் எப்படி கொடுக்கலாம்? To wake, only to wake you up. That he can do it himself, Ilya Shivaji. Adik na adik. Huh? Why are you doing sign language?
Yeah, because I couldn't unmute. I was mute. Okay. Yeah, it is another example is Swapna Simhapat, to wake me up from my dream so that.
No, don't change the topic. Shock therapy. How do I start giving shock therapy to you physically?
Physically, you can do anything unless I do it mentally and intellectually. It won't have any effect.
But somewhere it has to start, no?
No, it
Easier to
can't.
start physically.
A terrorist has been caught and he has been given enough physical therapy, but still he doesn't come out of his thought process.
No, I will like to do that only. So I'm relentless in my idea. You planted an idea.
Yeah, you can give me a Saudi punishment.
Please give me your address. I'm coming there soon. All right, sir. Thank you.